just kind of a simple video. We're going to remove our mechanical chain tensioners and reinstall our freshly rebuilt hydraulic chain tensioners. Also, we're going to do our intermediate shaft cover plate and double check our gasket to intermediate shaft clearance in there one more time before we close that up. So let's start with this one first and see exactly what we ended up with a crushed gasket and a fresh new measurement. Okay, so then on our intermediate shaft, I have put the cap back in the end, our C-clip retainer in there. Our gasket has crushed down to some degree, not a whole lot, but we did get some crush out of it. Let's see if we can show you. So this is our desired measurement. Okay, so we can just barely get that guy in there. I think we're going to be fine here. By the time we torque this down, we're going to be within a proper range. And we'll just have a little bit of Loctite on these for good measure. And we'll just snug those down. And I think that'll work just fine for us. Okay, so then having a look at our chain tensioners. So I asked Kurt Donahue from Klassik Automotive Training School if he could help us out with this. It's not that we can't rebuild these because he certainly has an excellent video on how to rebuild these and how to test the calibration with this tool here. Really good video, and I'm going to put a video link to that in our description box down below. So if you're really interested in what makes these work on the inside, definitely check that out. But anyhow, I asked Kurt if he could help us out for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is the very item that destroyed this car 45 years ago. So I've got a little bit of hesitation here with this particular part. It's not that we can't rebuild it, it's just that I don't really want to do it. The other reason is not only is Kurt very experienced with these and they're very sensitive to rebuild, he has a really nice calibration tool. So here's a page out of the manual that shows this weighted object. And the whole idea of this tool is to press down on the piston here, and then over a duration of time it's supposed to compress a certain amount, and that's how you figure out the calibration if this is working properly or not. I don't have one of these. I would much rather Kurt just do this, use his tool, and make sure that we have this right for this project, because I just don't want these going wrong at all. Anyhow, they have to be compressed before we install them. So I've made this version of the P214 tool, and the measurements on that guy are about 3 1/8 inches on the inside and 1 inch and about 7/8 on the bottom there. So let's go ahead and compress one of these in the vise. We're going to go really slow, probably slower than you need to go, but I'm just not going to push it on these because there is a fluid exchange in here that has to take place. Temperature in the shop right now is about 65 degrees. We just don't want to override the ability for a proper fluid exchange, so we're just going to take our time, compress it, and then we're ready to install. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to hold on to this so it doesn't slip out while we're compressing. And this would normally take 1.5 to 2 minutes to compress properly, but I'm probably going to take twice that just because. I just want to be real patient. And there she is, ready to install. Okay, then to get started here on our left side, we're at TDC number 1. So we're off the cam lobe. Applying pressure upwards on our idler arm while we relieve pressure from our mechanical chain tensioner. Okay, I think we're seated. And then I'm applying a little Loctite to this nut. And we certainly don't need any Loctite. But for these chain tensioners, I'm not taking any chances. And then just making sure we're applying some upward pressure. Seems to be working pretty good. Okay, so our right side here is under load on our camshaft. So we need to rotate 360 degrees to get that off the cam, and then we can remove our tensioner. Okay, we're on the back side of the cam now. Okay, and then same with this one, we want to keep pressure up on our chain. There we go. Let's just take a close-up look here and see how everything situates. So tension now is good on the chain. This one looks real nice. Look how tight that is in there. That is so Porsche. Okay, well that went pretty smooth. Not too much really to deal with there. The only thing really you want to try and keep in mind is keeping pressure on your idler arms while you're switching them out, and then you want to be on the back side of your cam lobes to do the install. I'm not going to put our timing chain covers on at this point because I want to leave them off to see the proper orientation of our camshafts while we're doing our rocker adjustments. So once I have all the rockers installed and adjusted, I just want to verify that our camshafts are on TDC in the right orientation to install our distributor and be able to start this car properly. And a really big thank you to Kurt and Sarah over at Klassik Automotive Training School. We really appreciate you helping us out on this one and sharing your expertise. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.